Hey YouTube family, Mr. Black Mamba 305 back here with you. And today we are going to talk about one basic things that you don't see really people talk about anymore on YouTube, and that is gripping your firearm for beginners. And I know that there's so many channels out there that talks about this already. Some of the channels when they just started, they'll talk about these stuff, but as they get bigger, and they start getting more sponsors and doing other things, they don't really go to the basics. So I'm going to do a series of videos where I talk about the basics of basics. I'm talking how to load a magazine. Yes, a lot of people do not know how to load magazines, not even for a 9mm or otherwise. I'm just going to do a series of short videos to go ahead and do that. So today's topic we're going to talk about is the basic 101 how to grip your pistol. And we're gonna today the gun I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use a Glock 19 Gen 5, and yes, this is unloaded and it is pointed in a safe direction. Just for all the YouTube police out there in the gun world, let's go ahead. Chamber's clear. You can see the orange follower. Empty mags. So anytime you guys see me handle this firearm, pointing to the camera, pointing towards myself, which I probably try my best won't, you know that this firearm is clear. All right, so like I said before, a lot of people think that some things are so obvious and they're not. And one of the things that a lot of YouTubers or even a lot of people go out and purchase firearms is that they know how to hold a firearm because they watch a lot of John Wick movies, and they see things on TV and they think they can just pick it up and do it just like that. A lot of things that you see people do, they play soccer, they play sports, they do things that look so simple on TV. There's a whole science to it, and people might have been training years to do these things. With firearms, how you grip your firearms, determine the recoil, follow-up shots, and how you can handle that firearm. And that's what I want to talk about today. Today, again, like I said, guys, I'm using a Glock 19 Gen 5, and we're gonna go talk about that. First and foremost, on this kind of video is for the beginners. So if you're in the gun community for a long time, some even people that have been in gun community may not necessarily know how to grip a firearms and hold it so you can get back on target rapidly, quickly, and control that recoil. So so if you want to like continue watching the video, go ahead and do so. Before you guys go ahead and do so, I just want to take the time out to ask you guys if you can go ahead and just click that notification bell, so when I put out content like these, you guys are first to get it. Or you can go ahead and subscribe, like, and share the video so I can get up there in the algorithm and build up the channel. My goal by the end of the year is try to get about 5,000 subscribers. So if you watch this video and you like the content, go ahead and hit the subscription button. So back to it again, guys. Before you get to the grip, if you're a beginner, you just want to make sure you understand the safety measures. If you're going to practice this stuff, you want to make sure you practice it at home and do it just like I did. So if you have a firearm, do not load the firearm, because remember, if you feel like you don't know what I know, then you don't want to put your hand on the trigger with a loaded mag in. So make sure the magazine, if you just purchase it from, pick it up from FFL or purchase it or at a gun show, go ahead, make sure there's no loaded magazine. The firearm is pointed in a safe direction. If you're going to point it to the ground, point it away from the crotch area and away from the feet. Point it into the floor. Make sure you're not pointing to anywhere you think anybody can go in the house, or if it can go through the wall or through drywall or whatever. Remember, you cannot take that bullet back. So the first thing you want to do is make sure the firearm is safe, and that's what I did to start the video. So this firearm is safe, and the next thing you want to do, make sure the chamber is empty. There's nothing in this one. I already checked. Magazine is empty. And then first and foremost, you just want to go and pick up the gun. So you want to pick up the gun and get a good feel for it. If you are going to go out and purchase a firearm and you want to be able to hold the gun properly, make sure it's not a firearm that's not too big for your hand. A lot of women or men will watch a lot of videos and they'll see guns on TV and it looks so nice, but they don't know that in actuality, the gun might be too big for their hand or too small. You know what I mean? So just make sure that before you purchase your firearm, maybe you go to a range that actually rents firearm, test out a few of them, hold them in your hand, see one which has a better grip for you. Some of them might fit your hand like a glove, some of them might not. I remember when I don't remember which generation the Glock came out. It had a little finger groove. Some people hated it, some people love it. So and that might That might work well for you, it might not. So the first thing you want to do when you get the firearm is you want to just get a firearm and just get a grip on it. Nothing too crazy, just put your hand around it. I have pretty Sasquatch long fingers, so they fit right around. This is actually the largest back strap on the Glock 19. As you guys can see, it gives me a little bit more purchase on the beaver tail back here, so I can push back on the recoil when it comes. So I put the largest back strap. If you have smaller hand, you might want to keep the smallest one there. And then, go ahead, rest your hand in it. And so the first thing you want to do is grip the firearm. And the first thing you want to do is make sure the web of your hand right there, as you guys can see right here, web of your hand right here. Make sure when you grip that firearm, okay, you grip it, and you want to make sure you see that little no space in between there. You want to ride that not as tight as possible, but as high as possible. And what that does is just help when the recoil comes up. You kind of, there's a slight action, auditory action where you just kind of want to like push it back down, and that's it. When you hold the gun, you don't want to wrench it and grip it like you want to, break a peanut or a coconut or whatever. You just kind of want to hold it nice and give it a nice firm. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on the other side. So once I hold it, so I'm going to give it a nice firm hold, just like that. That's the next thing I want to do. And again, first thing you want to do is ride up on that beaver tail and get it nice and tight. You want to wrap your fingers around. Go ahead. You're going to want to go ahead and wrap your fingers around that firearm. And as you guys can see, once you wrap your fingers around this firearm, you're going to have a little space right here. And then this is where your opposite hand comes in. So you're going to take that hand and fit it right into that little space. You see that? So let me do that again. So the first thing you want to do, guys, okay, is take your hand, get a nice high purchase back here. You guys can see that from all angles, nice and tight upon that beaver tail. And then you're going to have a little gap depending on how big your fingers are. If your fingers come all the way around, it's okay. Take your thumb, open up that space, and the fleshy part right here, the lower part of your thumb, just kind of want to fit it right in here. So it just fits like a glove. You guys can see it. Fits like a glove. And then your thumb itself, you want to rest it against the firearm, going the opposite way of this finger. This finger, you want to rest it on the firearm in this way. And then the opposite thumb, you want to, so they're going against each other to make it as stable as possible. Now, that's just section one, gripping the firearm. Again, high beaver tail, fit your hand right into the space, get your thumb, opposing thumb, along the lower part of the, not on the slide, but on the receiver part of the firearm, okay? And this thumb, a lot of people leave it up like this, some people keep it down. It doesn't matter to me, I can do whichever. Once you've gotten that, now pretend you guys on the camera are my target. So since my eyes are already at eye level, the target is already at eye level, what I want to do now is, you'll see a lot of people, because they watch John Wick, they think that it's so cool. They'll come down like this and they come out like that. That is just foolishness, okay? So what you want to do, you're standing square to the target, and this is for standing target. Now, if the target is moving, obviously, you're going to take evasive action behind the wall, or you're going to turn to the side, create a smaller footprint. But just for shooting at targets at the range and practicing the one-on-one basics, now you're going to keep your eye on the target. I can see you right there, and I still have my grip. As you guys can see, put it in there, and I'm not wrenching. I'm not wrenching on the gun to where it's tiring out my forearm. I'm just giving it a nice firm hold, okay? You're my target, and then what I'm gonna do is bring the target up to my eyes. That's all I'm gonna do. So it should look something like this. Relax shoulders, okay? Firearm pointing forward, and just bring it up to your eyes. And then you wanna line up the rear sight and the front sight to your target. Get them nice in a straight line and towards your target. Okay, so that's what so the first one is to grip the firearm. The next thing you want to do is to bring it up. All right, and so that's the second phase of it. Now, my third phase, when I'm showing people how to use a firearm, is how once you get it up, how to get that firearm to lock in. So what you guys are going to see me do is the third phase. First phase is the grip. Second phase is up. Get all three, the rear sight and front sight lined up. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just slightly open up my elbows. What that does is help you. Once you open up your elbow, if you guys can see this action here, it forces your thumb and your index finger to push in towards the firearm and gives you a better grip on the on the firearm. So if you guys look at that again, it's helping me to really like vice that firearm in my hand and to get it from, to balance out the kick that it's going to have. And that is a big part of it, guys. That's one of my that's the best advice I can give anybody in terms of gripping a firearm and shooting it is the grip. And remember, none of this. Just bring it up to your eyes, plain and simple, and then just slightly flare out your elbows and you will feel it start wrenching in on the lower part of the firearm. That will give you a lot more stability. And you take your shots, boom. I don't know if you guys saw that. Almost didn't even flinch. Go back to that reset. And I just slightly come up. Right? Do it again. Bring it up to my eyes. No movement. And that is how you grip your firearm 101. All right. Now, it can get a lot more technical than that, but the basics for now, that is how you grip your firearm. And like I said, guys, make sure if you're purchasing a firearm that you plan to carry, practice with that firearm. Don't just buy the firearm, go to the range one time, shoot about 10 rounds, and then you put it in the safe. Mechanical things don't work like that. Especially like firearms, sometimes the tolerances are so tight, you might have to rub metal on metal for a while till it finally smooths out, and then you can get that gun running like a top. Practice with the firearm that you're going to carry, and this is how I personally grip my firearm. Now I'm going to show you everything I just try to show you guys from a different angle. Again, I'm looking at my target, bring it up to my eyes. Oh, I'm sorry. Get that grip. Nice high grip on the beaver tail. Got my space here where my hand goes. My opposing thumb. Nice and tight on the lower part of the firearm. I am looking at my target at high level. My eyes in a straight line. Bring the firearm up. Flare out my elbows just a little bit. And take the shot. And that is how, my friend. And that is gripping your firearm 101. Guys, if you like this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, and share the video. It would be greatly appreciated. If any of my content is useful, if any of it is funny, if you enjoyed anything today, go ahead, like, subscribe, share the video. If you want to see me review anything on the gun wall here, I have quite a few more that can't fit on the wall. Just let me know in the comments and I'll go ahead and put up some more video. But I want to go ahead and make some more content like this. How to grip your pistol 101 for beginners. And even if you're a veteran, you may be able to use that technique and grip it a little bit proper. All right? Tactical foolishness. Mr. Black Mamba 305 signing out. Thank you for watching, guys.